Okay, so hopefully, okay, now it just opened the Facebook page for me, which is fine.
Yeah, you're live on Facebook, Prabhu. I can see you.
All right, great.
But Prabhuji, one thing is, Prabhu, it might be on your Facebook Live, but it should be on Portland, ISKCON Portland Facebook Live. So you have to, when you click live, gives you options, it's on your
It
time.
didn't give me any option. It just said, you have gone live, and I clicked got it. So whatever has happened has happened.
You are live on ISKCON.
You can change also now.
Okay, Anita Mataji is saying we are live on ISKCON Portland, so that's great.
Okay. Yeah.
And parallelly, I'm just going to say record to the, what should I say, computer or cloud? What do you all do?
Computer, Prabhu, but no need to actually record now because it's already live on Facebook, right?
No, so I'll just press record to the cloud. There you go.
Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna, we are live. Hopefully. All right, let's get started without spending more time. So, thank you everybody for joining. Oh, Narottam Vilas Prabhu is also here, so that's great. Thank you for joining for the Sunday Feast Srimad Bhagavatam class. We will start with the invocation prayers, the Mangalacharan prayers, and then the invocation prayers. And is my audio okay? My microphone, or you can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We will recite the Mangalacharan prayers. Let me see if I can show something. Oh, okay. Oh. So, are you seeing this PowerPoint? Hopefully.
Yeah.
So just our gratitude and our obeisances to Sri Parikshit Maharaj and Srila Shukdev Goswami, Srila Suta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishis. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we will resume from chapter 11 of Canto 1 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord arrives in Hastinapur, Dwarka. Let me share the screen here. Right. So, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse number 9. So, this is where the residents of Dwarka are welcoming back Lord Krishna back into Dwarka. So, I will recite the verse a couple of times and then devotees can recite perhaps. Yarhi ambujaksha apsasarabho bhavan kurun madhun vatha sruhida didrikshaya tatrabda koti pratimah kshano bhaved ravim vina akshanor ivanastavachyuta. So once more. Yarhi ambujaksha apsasaratbho bhavan kurun madhun vatha suhrida didrikshaya tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved ravim vina akshanorivatanastava achyuta. One more. Yarhi ambujaksha apsasarabho bhavan kurun madhun vatha suhrida didrikshaya tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved ravim vina akshanorivanastava. So would anybody like to recite?
Yahi ambujaksha pasasarabho bhavan kurun madhun vata suhrudrudrukshaya tatrabda koti pretimakshano bhaved ravim vinakshano ivanastavachuta. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for the nice recitation, Mataji, as always. Anyone else?
It is right, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure.
Yarhyam bujaksha apasarabhu bhavan kurun madhun vata suhritridikshaya tatrapta koti pratimah kshano bhavid ravim vinakshano ivanastavachita.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. All right. Okay, then we can. Anybody else is interested?
I can try.
Sure.
Or does anybody else want to go first?
You please go ahead.
Yarai ambuja aksha apsara bhavan kurun madhun va atha shrutiksha tatra abda koti patima shana bhavet ravim akshano diva tava achutaha.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
in the last line I made a mistake. Ravim vina akshano iva tava achuta. I missed a couple of words. Sorry.
No problem. Okay. Thank you. So we will do the word by word Anvaya. The synonyms. Yarhi, whenever. Ambuja Aksha, O lotus-eyed one. Apsasara, you go away. Bho, oh Bhavan, yourself. Kurun, the descendants of King Kuru. Madhun, the inhabitants of Mathura, Vrajabhumi. Va, either. Atha, therefore. Suhrid Didrikshaya, for meeting them. Tatra, at that time. Abda Koti, millions of years. Pratima, like. Kshana, moments. Bhavet, becomes. Ravim, the sun. Vina, without. Akshano, of the eyes. Iva, like that. Naha, ours. Tava, your. Achyuta, O infallible one. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless as if bereft of sun. Purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are all proud of our material senses for making experiments to determine the existence of God. But we forget that our senses are not absolute by themselves. They can only act under certain conditions. For example, our eyes. As long as the sunshine is there, our eyes are useful to a certain extent. But in the absence of sunshine, the eyes are useless. Lord Shri Krishna, being the primeval Lord, the supreme truth, is compared to the sun. Without him, all our knowledge is either false or partial. The opposite of the sun is darkness, and similarly, the opposite of Krishna is Maya or illusion. The devotees of the Lord can see everything in true perspective due to the light disseminated by Lord Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, the pure devotee cannot be in the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of Lord Krishna so that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. As we cannot see anything in the absence of the sun, so also we cannot see anything, including our own self, without the factual presence of the Lord. Without him, all our knowledge is covered with illusion. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, very, very wonderful verse. We will read it again. Yarhi ambuja aksha apsasara bho bhavan kurun madhun vatha suhridridrikshaya tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved ravim vina kshano rivanastavachyuta. So, Yarhi ambuja aksha apsasara bho bhavan. Ambuja aksha means like the lotus eyes, or eyes like the lotus. So obviously this is referring to Lord Krishna. The residents of Dwarka are addressing Lord Krishna as Ambuja Aksha, and they're saying, when you, Yarhi means jab, or like when, you, Ambuja Aksha, my dear Ambuja Aksha, you means Bhavan, you Ambuja Aksha, you Apsasara, you go away. Where do you go away? Kurun Madhun, you go to meet the Kurus and the Madhus. Madhus are the people residing in Mathura, and Kurun are the Pandavas. Obviously, the Lord doesn't want to go meet the Kauravas, it's the Kurus, the Pandavas. Va atha, because why we say, I mean, he definitely went to meet Duryodhan for the peace deal, but here there is a second word, Suhrid Didikshaya. So Suhrid, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, there is word in Bhagavad Gita. Suhrid means friend or well-wisher. So we know Pandavas are the best friends of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is their best friend. So Suhrid means to meet your, Didikshaya means to meet. So to meet your friends, that is obviously the Pandavas among the Kurus. And there are many other friends, Vidurji, Mother Kunti, and so many others. But yeah. Tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved. Tatra, then what happens when you go away to meet your other devotees in Mathura and Hastinapur? That's how Srila Prabhupada has translated. You go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives. Then what happens? Tatra abda koti pratimaha. So every kshano bhavet. So kshana, one moment, feels like pratimaha means it's pratima means typically reflection, but it's like what it feels like. So a kshana, when it gets reflected in the mirror, so to say, pratima feels like abda koti. Abda koti means millions of years. So even though by time scale a kshana is passing, but for the devotees of Dwarka, it feels like that it is millions of years. Bhaved, it feels like that. And what else it feels like? Ravim vina akshanor. So Ravi is sun. Bina, without that, akshanor, our eyes, even us tava achyuta. So our eyes cannot see without you. You are like the sun, tava achyuta. You are like the sun, and without the sun, we cannot see. So without you, we are blind, we cannot see anything. So that is the sort of the word by word sort of anvaya of the verse. So there are many, many wonderful key points in this verse. Every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, every prayer by devotees to the Lord, whether it is prayers of Queen Kunti, prayers of Bhishma Dev, which we have covered in the past, or the prayers of the residents of Dwarka, they are all full of wonderful realizations. So here there are so many wonderful realizations, or points at least, not realizations yet, but points to cover. So the first point that I noted from hearing other devotees is that the Lord is so keen, so interested, we can go to the extent of saying so desperate, to meet all of his beloved devotees everywhere. He can't have enough of his devotees. He's like a kid in a candy store. He runs from shelf to shelf, not knowing which candy to eat. And the moment he starts eating one, he's like, I want to eat the other one. So in that kind of sense, Lord Krishna is like that. He can't have enough of his devotees. He's just running from place to place. I want to meet this devotee and that devotee and that devotee and that devotee. He's just, going crazy with his devotees in wanting to meet them, wanting to associate with them, didrikshaya, to meet them, to see them. So the point is the Lord leaves. It appears that now again there are deeper meanings and realizations that the Lord never leaves Vrindavan, but the Lord appears to leave one set of friends only to go meet another set of friends. So not for any other reason, absolutely not for any other reason. Everything else he can just do by his intention, by his energy. But he himself appears to live only to associate with other set of devotees. The Lord only wants to give his association to all his devotees. That is his main purpose of appearance anywhere, to give his association. And not the real reason is to take association of his devotees. He comes to take association of his devotees. So that is one realization or one point here, that the residents of Dwarka are feeling, oh, you went to see those other devotees. What about us? We feel so separated from you. And those devotees in Vrindavan, Hastinapur, Mathura, they are so happy. And you can imagine how they feel when Lord Krishna leaves Vrindavan or Hastinapur. And we will see later in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 13, 14, probably, I can't remember exactly, when Yudhishthir Maharaj gets the news. First, he is anxiously waiting for Arjuna to return from Dwarka because they want more news about the Lord. And then Arjuna takes a very long time to come back, and very sad. He is extremely morose, and Yudhishthir Maharaj can sense, but he's just in denial mode that, oh, Krishna has not left. And he asks, so why are you sad? Did you do something bad? Did you act not like a Kshatriya? Did you this? Did you do that? And finally he says, did Lord Krishna disappear? So, even though in this case, the Dwarka residents are saying that you are associating with the residents of Hastinapur, a little bit later, the residents of Hastinapur, the Suhridas of Hastinapur, which are the Pandavas, are lamenting that the Lord is in Dwarka, and therefore they send Arjuna to see him and bring back news. So this is constantly going back and forth between the devotees. That is one point. The second point is very beautifully brought out here, that Tatra abda koti pratimaha kshano bhaved. A kshana appears like pratima, appears like abda koti, millions of years. So this is again very famous point that we all know from the Shikshashtakam as well. Yugaitam nimishena. A nimisha, a moment, appears like yugaitam, a yuga. Chakshusha pravishayitam, and our eyes are pravishayitam, like constantly shedding tears and tears like torrents of rain, or like continuous tears. Chakshusha pravishayitam, shunyayitam jagat sarvam. The whole jagat appears to be shunya. Nothing in this world can give them peace. Shunyayitam jagat sarvam. Why? Govinda virahena me. Without the, or due to the viraha of Govinda, due to the separation from Govinda. So we see here, Yugaitam nimishena in the Srimad Bhagavatam as well is mentioned as Abda Koti Pratimaha Kshano Bhavet. Tatra Abda Koti Pratimaha Kshano Bhavet. A moment feels like millions and millions of years. So there is this fire of separation in the devotees and the Lord also, not just in the devotees and the Lord also, but here the devotees are expressing that. The Lord does not express so often, but he definitely feels. More than the devotees he feels. But the devotees are just burning in the fire of separation. So that is the second point. The third point brought out by devotees and acharyas is Ravim Vina. Without the sun, Ravim Vina Akshano Rivanastava Achyuta. That nothing can be seen without Achyuta, just like nothing can be seen without the sun. So materially, we cannot see anything without the sun. We need the sun to see, or light to see. But spiritually speaking, or not even spiritually, at an absolute level speaking, we cannot see anything without Achyuta, without the Supreme Lord. So there are these 3 points in that I gathered from various devotees from this verse. And as you can see, each verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is packed with so much knowledge and so many points that it is hard to speak or write commentaries on all these points. And as we saw, Srila Prabhupada has commented only on the 3rd point, Ravim Vina Kshano Rivanastava Achyuta. That's all that he has commented on, more or less. So he's making some, so we'll go through that. We read the purport, we'll go through some points, and there are more points I wanted to share on this. Tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved. That moment feels like millions of years on separation, due to separation. So Srila Prabhupada is making some very wonderful points here, that we want to see God with our material senses. That's the first line. That we are all proud of our material senses for making experiments to determine the existence of God. But we forget that our senses are not absolute by themselves. So all our senses are given by the Lord, and the objects of the senses are also given by the Lord. The primary objects of the eyes is light. Light is a sense object, as it is called, from the chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, we know light, sound, whatever, smell, touch. These are the objects of the senses. And one more, whichever. So taste or something. So light is a sense object, and the primary source of light is the sun. So without the sun, there is no object of the senses. What will the sense see if its object doesn't exist? Absolutely nothing. And the residents of Dwarka are saying that Bhagavan Krishna is the light, not only for the eyes, but even for all of knowledge. So without the Lord, we are completely in ignorance, in Maya. And that is why we are all in so much misery. That is because of ignorance. We treat that ignorance as knowledge. The knowledge that is bereft of Krishna, we treat as the supreme knowledge. And it only brings misery, doesn't bring happiness. So that is the reason, because we are trying to acquire that knowledge which is bereft of Lord Shri Krishna. So it only brings misery. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Anityam asukham lokam. Bhagavan Krishna says, Anityam asukham lokam. Same thing as Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So therefore Srila Prabhupada says, it is necessary that we must always be in the sight of Krishna, so that we can see both ourselves and the Lord with his different energies. So that is one point that Srila Prabhupada is making. He ends very nicely by saying, without him, all our knowledge is covered by illusion. Then I wanted to say something on the other point. I mean, there are 3 points, like we said. The Lord always leaves one place only to give association and take association of his devotees, of his Suhridas, at another place. Now, of course, the Lord can be at 2 places at the same time, but he appears to leave. That's why he appears to leave one place. But the point is that the reason for doing so is only to meet devotees, not for any other purpose. Then the second point is, every moment seems like millions of years. Tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhaved. Every moment of your absence seems like millions of years. That's the next point, and I wanted to speak a little bit on that. So I was listening and reading to some of these points of love in separation. Now, this is a very deep topic, and I am not qualified to go deeply. I don't understand or comprehend that level. So I was just thinking, what can I comprehend at my level about this topic of love in separation? And I jotted down a few points which I wanted to share with you for my own benefit and my purification. So obviously, we have heard many topics on love in separation by great devotees, like, of course, the topmost being the gopis or Sri Uddhavji. And we just discussed like the Pandavas. You should read, we'll have wonderful upcoming chapters on the separation felt by the Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj and others, when they come to know of the sort of, so to say, permanent separation from Krishna. When he has left the planet, he has disappeared. Permanent, again, it's relevant, relative term, as in like in this set of pastimes, in this episode of his appearance, he has left, and they also all leave the planet. They decide to give the kingdom to Parikshit Maharaj, coronate him, and they put on clothes of mendicants. The queen of Hastinapur, Draupadi, she becomes like a maidservant, it is written. So imagine, like, the queen, the absolute queen of the whole planet, becomes a maidservant. The king Yudhishthir becomes puts on tree bark, like that it is written in the Bhagavatam, and they all just leave. It's very easy to read and write these things when we have so many attachments. Our kids are leaving to college, so we were just trying to clean up the house of things that we don't need anymore because of their schooling is over. Then little things with so much attachment. Oh, why should we throw this? Why should we throw that? Let's put it in a box. There's just so much attachment to all these small useless things, and we have so much attachment. But look at the Pandavas, they just left the whole kingdom. I mean, putting it in this perspective, it makes us feel how far we are, how absolutely far we are. Though we may think, oh, we are, doing all these wonderful things, but giving up attachment is so hard. And to the extent we maintain our attachments, we cannot develop attachment for Krishna. Our heart can have only so much attachment. If it is filled with material attachments, how can it be filled with attachment for Krishna? So hopefully in some lifetime it will happen. We can just pray for the mercy. So, yeah, where were we? Yeah, so there are all these exalted devotees like the Pandavas and the Gopis and Uddhavji and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and all these devotees who feel so much separation. So I was just thinking, what does it mean for me, separation, and how can I access this concept of separation in love at my very small level or very low level, so to say. So separation in love can only happen when you are in love with that object of separation. Then only separation is there. So like when my kids are going to college, I feel separation. If my neighbor's kids are going to college, I don't feel separation from them. I hardly even know them. And that is the point. That without love, there is no separation. So if you don't have love for someone, what is the separation there? Nothing. So that is our situation with Krishna. We don't feel separation from Krishna because we do not have love for him. That's very true for me, of course. So there is no feeling of separation, no pain, no feeling of longing or waiting to connect, looking forward to connect. Oh, my child will come home in the holidays, so looking forward to it, making the plans, constantly the mind being absorbed in that thought. That doesn't happen because we do not have the love for Krishna. Now, there is something we love about Krishna, but not Krishna. We love his energy very much, especially his energy of Maya or his wealth, Lakshmi ji. We love Lakshmi ji very much, the money, the wealth, but we have a lot of love for Lakshmi, but no love for Narayana. So Lakshmi and Narayana are always together, but it is not possible for us to get that love for Narayana, or not possible, or not. Because of our love for something else, we just have no love for Narayana. Like Duryodhana, he had so much love for Narayani Sena of Lord Krishna, but no love for Narayana. He is so happy when he goes to ask Lord Krishna for the Narayani Sena. That's a very nice episode. We don't have time to go into details. But when he comes back, he's very happy that he got the entire Narayani Sena. And then Bhishma Dev says, what happened? He says, I got the Narayani Sena. And Bhishma Dev asks, what about Narayana? Did you get him? No, what's the point of getting Narayana? He told me he's not even going to fight. So what was the point? I left him. And of course, Arjun made the first choice, but anyway, those are the details. But he was very, very happy. And Bhishma Dev just, shook his head. Of course, he also wanted the Pandavas to win. But anyways, he was like, what a fool this is. How can you love, how can you expect to get anything from Narayani if you have rejected Narayan? So that is our situation. We are like Duryodhan. We all want the Narayani without Narayana. So that is our situation, and that is why we don't feel separation from Narayan. We want Lakshmi without Narayan. We want Narayani Sena without Narayan. And that is our situation. So how should we develop that love for Krishna? What is the process for developing that love? So this love is developed. It is a bhakti lata. So it is a creeper, and of course, creeper, if watered properly, if given all the proper ingredients, taken care of so that a goat doesn't come and eat it, or an elephant doesn't come and trample it, then it can very nicely grow. And that is the process of our sadhana bhakti. So through our sadhana, and how do we know about sadhana? From Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, we understand that to develop that love for Narayana, not for Narayani, we have to do our sadhana bhakti. And through Shastra, we know how to water this creeper, this bhakti lata creeper. And then we begin to see how the Lord begins to reciprocate. We can see his reciprocation. The Lord reciprocates. That's one point. But then we can also begin to see his reciprocation. We begin to see, this was not going to happen in normal circumstances. The Lord made it happen. And the reason the Lord made it happen is because I have been trying to connect with him. He's reciprocating with me. Wow. Such an insignificant soul I am. I'm doing this little thing and he's already reciprocating. This is so amazing. And the Lord more or less reciprocates invisibly. I had read a wonderful sentence. Coincidences are the Lord's way of remaining invisible. So we usually attribute good things that happen to coincidence, by chance. Okay, ho gaya. Chalo, acha hai, nice. Problem solved. or Balatali, as we say, Balatali. But who caused the Bala to get Tala? Bhagavan. So we begin slowly and slowly, we begin to see the invisible hand of the Lord. Just like in Mahabharat war, Lord Krishna was single-handedly responsible, even though he said he will not fight. He was the one who was responsible for the entire victory in the war. And the Pandavas, of course, knew that, but Duryodhan did not know that, or he kind of could not fully see it. Without lifting a weapon, the Lord orchestrated it in such a way that the Pandavas won. Every single major battle, how Bhishma should be killed, Drona should be killed, Karna should be killed. So many important battles when Arjun took the vow for the Jayadratha Vadha, orchestrating that and this, all those things, Duryodhan was just getting defeated after defeat after defeat after defeat, not knowing the invisible hand behind it. And the invisible hand was Bhagavan. So we are like Duryodhan, we think it is coincidence. But when we start doing our sadhana, we begin to become like Pandavas, where we can see, oh, Bhagavan did this. So the Lord helps the devotees, and in the beginning stages, he helps in an invisible way. Yoga kshemam vahami aham. He is always true to his promise. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. My devotee he will never let his devotee be perished. He will always do vahami aham, vahamyaham. He will carry his devotees. Always. So when we begin to do our sadhana bhakti, then we see the reciprocation of Krishna. And when we see his reciprocation, small love develops for him. The seed, Bhakti Lata Bij, sprouts. When we water it, then the Bij sprouts. We see the reciprocation. And then the love begins to develop. So like this, we should continue. The point is, by our sadhana bhakti, beginning with, of course, long time of Vaidhi sadhana, by the regulative principles, it will mature or it will transform later into spontaneous love, the Raganuga sadhana bhakti. That is also sadhana, but spontaneous sadhana bhakti. And it will mature. And then we will feel separation. Then we will begin to feel that true separation that some of these very exalted devotees feel like. So the point is that through our sadhana, we have to develop the love for the supreme object of love, which is Bhagavan Shri Krishna Achyuta here. And then we will feel this Abda Koti Pratimha Kshano Bhavet. Then we will feel separation from the Lord. Like, when our children came home, they've been for summer here, like for 3 months. Those 3 months pass very nicely, quickly, kshana. But the remaining semester, when they go away, those 3 months are much longer. Same thing, Abda Koti Pratimha Kshano. So like that, we can see that when we change the object of our love to Krishna, then we'll experience that separation from him. Now, just one last point before we conclude. How should we feel that separation now? How can we, another way to feel that separation now? This is another very beautiful point I heard, is that by developing our love for devotees and for our Gurujanas, we can feel the separation from them, because the devotees, they go away. Our Gurujanas come and go away. Like Narottam Das Thakur says, Kaha Mora Rupa Sanatana, Kaha Kaviraj. So Narottam Das Thakur is lamenting, Kaha Mora, Kaha hai Mora Rupa Sanatana. They are his Gurujanas, Rupa Sanatana Kaviraj. Kaviraj is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So he is lamenting. He says, Matha Kutibo Matha, I'm forgetting the exact, Kutibo Matha, Pashane Anilo, I will break my head on a stone, I will enter fire. That is that fire of separation that he is feeling. And of course, he's feeling separation from Lord Chaitanya as well. Kaha Mora Gora Nataraj. Gora Nataraj is the Gora. Gora means like, fair complexion. Nataraj, the dancer. Lord Chaitanya used to dance like so brilliantly, so like a fan. When he would dance, you would see it all like a fan he would dance. You wouldn't see the individual wings of the fans like that. You wouldn't see the limbs of Lord Chaitanya. You would see him like a disc. That's how fast he would dance, Nataraj. So he is lamenting for his Gurujanas. So similarly, if we cannot develop love for the supreme object, which is Krishna, we must definitely develop love. It's not like a replacement. We must additionally develop love for his devotees, his pure devotees as well. Yesterday we had the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, and we had so many of his disciples who had his personal association feel separation from him. So our separation from the devotees with whom we have developed love is also a great way to access the love for Krishna, because the devotees of the Lord are simply transmitting that same love of Krishna through them to us. But if we make them the object of our love, then it's a little bit easier to understand, to feel that separation from them rather than from Krishna, because we are a little bit far away from having that deep love for Krishna. So that is perfectly okay. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter, 63rd verse, Lord Vishnu tells Durvasa Muni, Aham Bhakta, what is that? Bhakta Jana Priyaha. Let me open that. I'm forgetting the last. That not only my devotees, but my devotees' devotees are very dear to me. So he says that here. 9th canto, 4th chapter, 63rd verse. It's the first verse that Lord Vishnu starts speaking to Durvasa Muni to relieve him of the Sudarshan Chakra. Bhakta Janair something. Bhaktair Bhakta Jana Priyaha. So not only my bhaktas, but the bhaktas of my bhaktas are very dear to me. So he says, what to speak of my devotee, even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. So like that, we can develop love for the devotees of the Lord. And then we can get through them, the love of the Lord. So that is another way to access this love in separation that we hear from these wonderful devotees like the residents of Dwarka, when they say that when you go away, tatra abda koti pratimah kshano bhavet. So to summarize this second point, we understand this, or we have heard this term, or this yugaitam nimishena term so many times. Abda koti pratimahakshano bhaved, yugaitam nimishena, same thing. How to understand that at our level is to understand that we don't have love for Krishna, so we do not feel separation from Krishna, because separation only comes to from something which we love. So how to develop love for Krishna? By doing our sadhana bhakti. And through our sadhana bhakti, we come in contact with pure devotees. And we should make them also our object of love. Many times we have only love for Bhagavan, but devotees are like, oh, dispensable. That should not be the case. So when we develop love for the devotees of the Lord, then we can feel separation from those devotees when we are not with them. These last 3 days were very nice. Thursday we were, associating with devotees for the preparation of Janmashtami. Then Janmashtami Friday was blissful. Then Saturday was Nandotsava and Srila Prabhupada appearance day. So really I was feeling, oh, now Nandotsava is also over, now done for 1 week, we'll not meet. Suddenly I realized, no, tomorrow Sunday feast is there. Okay, 1 more day is there. Nice. We'll meet. So, like that, we can, feel like, okay, we really want to associate with devotees, not go back to, the mean place out there. We can always be in the loving association of devotees. And then like that, we can feel some separation from the devotees when we have to part, only to meet again soon. Then we long for the association of the devotees. We look forward to it. We count the time. Oh, when is the next time we are going to meet? And like that. And then we want to imbibe their qualities as well. All the good sadhana that they are doing, we take inspiration, we take their example. And like this cycle of our deepening our sadhana increases by associating with devotees, feeling separation from them. In that moment of separation, trying to do the things they are doing for their sadhana, taking inspiration from them, taking their example, and then again meeting them. This cycle keeps going and our sadhana keeps deepening. And through this cycle, we develop love for Krishna. And then when we develop love for Krishna, then we feel separation from Krishna as well. So I have more things to say, but it's already 9 o'clock. So I will stop here. Yeah. Thank you so much. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, then we will stop here. Thank you so much for your kind audience. And we will see you all in the Sunday feast today. Shri Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you for your nice explanation on this wonderful verse.
Thank you.
It's hard for us, or hard for me. Srila Prabhupada says Maya is that sense of separation from Krishna. But here, the Maya is a spiritual sense of separation from Krishna. It's, like you said, inconceivable to the material mind. The material world becomes invisible to us when we're absorbed in Krishna. That which is visible becomes invisible. And that which we desire we find ourselves thrown into that. Yeah, that's an amazing verse. And Shikshashtakam. Thank you for exploring.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Devotees have expressed appreciation to the chat group too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. The Jiva is an appreciator, and the Lord is appreciated, as are the devotees appreciated. Okay. I thank you for taking time. I know everybody was very busy.
Very busy, very tired from all the hectic services. Yeah, I totally understand. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I really look forward to seeing you all today.
Thank you all. Please join us for Sunday feast. Hare Krishna. Bye-bye.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So I stopped recording. Is there any setting to do to, okay, I'll say stop live stream.